Hermitcraft Season 9. And look! A hole. There's no way I'll fall down there for several times, right? Wait. What's the line again? Oh, yes. New season, new server, a fresh new start. Let's hope this server will be better than the other one. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Well, what happened with your whole peace motto thing? Did it change? Cause it just pushed me right into the hole. What hole? This hole. Oh. Well, about that peace motto thing, yeah, it's just an excuse to kill in the most creative way as possible. I mean, kill is literally in my middle name. Like, I wonder, how many times can I kill Scar? More like how many times can we kill Scar? Oh no. So yeah, Hermitcraft Season 9. And yup, a brand new server and season for the Hermits to basically rediscover Minecraft again. The Hermits started their new season journey by logging in at the same time. Well, hello there. And then chopping some wood, finding stone, dock breaking the game, climbing mountains, eating bread, and then there's Scar, dying over and over again. I mean, what's with Scar and dying? Probably just a Scar thing, I guess. Anyway, since Hermitcraft 5, the Hermits have been living in islands, continents, or basically living in areas near bodies of water. And today, the new Hermitcraft season brought in a new twist of going into the season blind. Not literally blind, but you know, not being able to see the seed for the very first time. And they have someone to find them a seed and go from there. This is actually a very nice twist this season, since hermits tend to plan things out in where they will live and in laying out dedicated areas for shopping and industrial districts. And as they log into the server for the very first time, they spawn in a large landmass in the middle of a lake that connects to a river which is surrounded by these enormous mountains. And in here, this will be the dedicated area for building homes and a shopping district. As for now, the hermits will be mainly living in this area as a community. But once the hermits are all kitted out and fully settled in, they will eventually move out, turn their starter homes into shops, and start building their own mega bases. And speaking of the hermits, they have their own ways of starting off this season. Starting in the middle, we have arguably the most chaotic area in the server, the neighborhood of Scar, Mumbo, and Grian. So Scar, after being a mayor in Season 7, a tycoon in Season 8, today he now begins his journey as an elf, who unlike the fictional elves in books, who are basically immortal, Scar, well, dies a lot. Beyond his woodland realm, his neighbors are Mumbo and Grian. These three settled in this peninsula, which is basically in the middle of the shopping district. Recently, there have been a lot of shenanigans going on in this area, with Grian with his daily hobby of pestering Mumbo, involving some trees. And we all know what happened when trees get involved, but this time, he basically said that, why retaliate by surrounding Mumbo's base with trees when you can build a totally intentional tree farm? Talk about a perfect plan. Darn! And if this mini prank isn't enough already, there's also Pearl retaliating to Grian's fishy prank. And then there's Scar. Well, despite dying like every 20 minutes, he made a hoe, a netherite hoe, and he was able to build this insane base that just literally emerged out of nowhere. Speaking of bases, Mumbo is living in this vault with his end goal of becoming the richest man in the server by hiding away his net worth. I mean, you can actually say you are rich without showing your actual riches. Talk about a big brain moment. And then there's Grian with his boulder, called the Entity, which will become a semi-living thing that will be turned to a one-stop shop for items in the future. Boulder! Yes, there's another boulder in town, located in the central area. And it's also owned by a British man named Zedap. And this man has also a goal with his pursuit of glory and wants to achieve stuff and things. There's also other bases located in the central area, like Beef, who is making a Hermitcraft trading card game. And he is crazy enough to be building a whole deck of cards using custom handmade maps. I suspect that these cards will probably be in circulation in the future and will be worth a lot, considering the amount of effort that went through it. Cards aside, in the central area, there's also Exuma's house, Keralis' modern house, and Thieves' humble Birch house. Speaking of Birch, in the opposite side of the river, we have an area that are mostly vacated by the most loved trees in the server, the Birch Forest. Residing here, we have Jevin, who made this incredible starter house. Doc, who is a literal goat, dedicated the entire area for breaking the game, and hopes that the developers won't patch it. And then there's B-Dubs, who's a known hater of Birch, started to embrace it by building one of the hated blocks in the server, Diorite. What I mean by server, I meant Iskall, who probably decided to build the farthest away from the Diorite monolith as possible. Next up, we have the rocky western area of the lake, which is located by an eagle, a tea set collection, and a growing corporation. After safely escaping the Big Moon crash from Season 8, Falls, together with her eagle, went on her journey and crash-landed down into the New World, which is Season 9. Stress, being the British she is, made her starter base as tea-related as possible. Besides Stress, we have Ren, who is delegated to form a future corporate empire this season, called Gigacorp, kinda similar with Season 6 Concorp. But Gigacorp is not founded by Rendog himself, and is currently an unknown foreign corporation that seems to colonize the Hermit planet with businesses. And in here, partnering with CubFan, they made the first ever shop in the server, called GigaPies Incorporated. This will be the first of many Giga businesses to come this Season 9, since Rendog also partnered with Keralis to enter into the logging business. Further down south, we have the crazy bases of Tango, Pearl's alien base, Gem's treehouse, and Impulse's eye enchant shop, which what the name implies, Impulse will be selling his services of enchanting your gear for you. And lastly, up north, bordering these massive mountains, we have Wells Knight, Hypno, and Iskall, with a shop called Legendary Super Tommy's Carrots, which sells exactly what the shop name implies, Super Tommy's Golden Carrots. Overall, this community area as a whole is basically the very capital or the main hub for the server. And as the main hub, this will be filled with a lot of community builds, shops, and also a lot of shenanigans. Today, it's only a small town, but one can suspect that the Hermits will eventually turn this town into a thriving city, filled with different buildings and shops. And as the season goes through its course, the Hermits in the future will have eventually moved out this River Lake community. And someone might just, probably start a prank war that could escalate to a full-blown war. Scar? You good?